Hey YouTube, welcome back to another installment of our series of videos for parents, carers, teachers, youth professionals, anyone who supports young people in any capacity to learn more about the things that affect their mental health and how they can help them. Tuesday the 10th of September is World Suicide Prevention Day. So in this video, we will be focusing on suicide prevention for children and young people. Suicide remains the largest killer of young people under the age of 35 here in the UK. And we lose more than 200 young people to suicide every year. We know that young people are struggling with their mental health more than ever, particularly since the pandemic. But provisions and resources are still very limited, and there are really long waiting lists to be seen. Recognizing the signs for a young person who might be feeling suicidal is not always easy. Some signs will be more obvious and some are really subtle. And again, there's no one size fits all. A key indicator for young people who might be experiencing suicidal thoughts could be things like feeling hopeless or worthless. It's so difficult when working with young people as there are so many changes to their moods and behaviours throughout puberty anyway. Really common language could include things like saying, I can't do this anymore, or things would just be so much better if I wasn't here. As always, these videos are quite short and there isn't exactly an exhaustive list of symptoms to look out for. The most important thing to remember is that even if you're just a tiny bit worried, it's enough of a reason to start a conversation. So on that note, here are some points on how you can have open conversations with young people regarding suicide. Number 1, be direct. A lot of the time, us as adults are worried about saying the wrong thing. There's this misconception that if we talk about it, it could put the idea of suicide into that young person's head. Over time, we've learned that that's really not the case, and being asked this question directly can be a great opportunity for a young person to get this off their chest because they can just answer yes or no. If they answer no, no harm has been done by just asking. But if they say yes, this is a great opportunity to then be able to offer the support that they may have been desperate for. People are always worried about how to ask young people about suicide. And to be honest, the best way to ask is just, are you thinking about suicide? Or are you feeling suicidal? A really important tip here is not to say judgmental statements like, you're not thinking of doing something silly, are you? Within that statement, you've already invalidated how they're feeling by calling it silly. On that note, my second point is to avoid judgment. It can be really difficult and distressing to hear a young person that's close to you is thinking about suicide, particularly if it's your own child. At this point, it's crucial to remember that as difficult as it is to hear, it's not about you, and the young person is already probably really struggling with communicating how they're feeling. Saying things like, there's so many things for you to be happy about, or loads of things for you to live for, hearing things like this could potentially add to the guilt that they're already feeling, and can make them feel invalidated and like they're not being listened to. Third step is safety planning. It's really important when having this conversation with a young person to know what the next step from this conversation will be. Talking through a young person's feelings with them will help you to determine where exactly they are. Remember, thoughts about suicide do not necessarily mean that a young person is going to act on suicide. If in that conversation you realise that a young person has maybe taken steps to end their life already, such as taking some pills, or that they're thinking about doing it soon, it's very important to put a safety plan in place. There are lots of fantastic safety plans available online to be able to help you with this, and I will link the one from Papyrus below. Finally, train up and know your resources. Papyrus charity, the one I just mentioned, is a charity that exists here in the UK for the prevention of young suicide. On their website, you will find a wealth of resources and information, as well as the HOPELINE, which can be accessed by young people who are feeling suicidal, but also for those who are worried about them. I will link a few other suicide crisis lines below that young people can access if they are ever struggling with suicidal thoughts. If you found this video useful, or you would like to learn more or have some questions of your own, join us at our free webinar on Thursday the 12th of October at 6 p.m. As always, our sessions will be hosted live on Zoom, and even if you can't join us live, all of our sessions are recorded and hosted on our Adults for Young Minds Facebook group. I'll put a link to register for the event below and also how to register for our group to access previous recordings or the upcoming recording if you're unable to make it. We have the pleasure of being joined by Lauren Elcock from Papyrus, who will be there to answer questions and share best practices with us. There's still time to sign up, so I hope to see some of you there. Thanks for watching.